Good afternoon, everybody. So let us start our lecture. Today is September 3rd, right? 2020. Okay, so people who are online, can you hear me? Okay. So before I start, so let us look at our schedule. So so we are in week third, right? Third week. Okay, so let us give us a reminder that you will have your test 1 on September 14. Okay, we have not decided yet how the test will be conducted, whether it will be fully online or face to face here. Okay, we will decide early next week, maybe next Tuesday, and then I will make an announcement. Okay, and keep your eyes in D12. Okay. And no matter how the test is conducted, you will need a webcam in your own computer, in your own laptop, and you will need a webcam even if you take the test over here or at home, no problem. Okay, so before you take the test, so if you go to D12, so there is a quiz. It is called lockdown browser setup. Okay, the lockdown browser setup, that quiz will guide you to install lockdown browser program. The lockdown browser is that in your test you will not be able to do Google search or start any other like applications. So please complete this responder setup quiz, this one. Okay, I see only a few people have completed it. Everybody please complete it. Okay, it will just take a few minutes to set up lockdown browser in your computer. Okay. And if you face any issue, you need to contact your UISTS. I cannot help anything. Or you may need to change your browser. Or sometime I found only 2 students, their computer did have some problem, so they had to change the computer. Okay, everything is straightforward. So everybody please be prepared for the test 1, and test 1 will cover module 1 to 3. Okay, so in our last lecture we are discussing module 3 selection structure. Should we what is that? Okay, before I start that, let us do a quick review. In our last lecture I discussed this one, type conversion, implicit and explicit type conversion, right? Converting one type of data to another type of data. I discussed this with a live program. Please practice this and understand this slide. Okay. And then in our last lecture I completed these selection statements, this module 3, from starting to beginning. But today I will recap this quickly. I will go through all of this quickly, and then the last half of this lecture we will go through some live program. You will be coding and I will move around. I will see your code. Okay. So as I discussed that, so I think everybody is familiar with print and println statement in all 3 languages, right? Okay, and as we discussed that Unless otherwise stated, all of the program codes, all of the statements in a program are executed serially from top to bottom, one by one. But sometimes we may need to execute some statement more than one time. We may need to decide whether we will execute a statement or skip it. Okay, skipping or executing a statement that by selection is based on some decision of another statement. The result depends on the result of another statement. That was what we call selection statement, and we are discussing that in our last lecture. So we discussed that there are mainly two technique: if and switch statement. If statement and switch statement. If has another like extended version: if else if. Okay, and switch statement. Okay, we discussed this, and this is the flow of control. I just told you, and this is the flow chart. Yeah, people who are online, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please keep yourself muted. Okay. So the selection statement depends on the executed result of another statement that we called a Boolean expression. Here in a flowchart, whenever you see a diamond like this, so that means there is a question over here in natural language. But in program statement, there is a Boolean expression over here. The Boolean expression will give you either true or false result, nothing else. Okay, and based on the result of this Boolean statement, we will execute some statement, or we will execute or skip some statement, or then execute some other statements. So in natural language, when you ask like this type of questions, then result comes yes or no, either yes or no. Okay, but in Boolean expression, the result comes as either true or false, nothing else. Okay, so a Boolean statement gives either true or false. No matter how large the statement is or how complex the statement is, result will be either true or false, nothing else. Okay, so in our last lecture we discussed all of this. So I will go quickly in the next 15 minutes. I'll go through this again, and then we will start some live program. Okay. So we discussed that the Boolean statement, so it works with some relational operators that find the relation between two operands, like greater than. This is not equal, not equal. Okay, it's not false, like this. So greater than, like for instance, 5 is greater than 3. Whenever you see something like this, you will not see a question mark at the end, but ask a question yourself. Like, is 5 greater than 3? You will get either true or false result, right? Either yes or no answer. If your answer is yes, then that means it is true. And then if it is no, then it is false. There is nothing in between. Okay, so these are the Boolean operators. There are some Boolean operators we are familiar with. This is not equal, and this is the equal, Boolean equal, logical relational equal operator. It checks whether two operands are equal or not. This is not equal, and not false, that means true. Not true equal to false. Okay. So for string, with string, there is one method that we frequently use. This is called equals method. How the spelling is. In Java we see equals, and in C# we see equals, but E is in uppercase. But in C++ we say compare. Okay, so that means here one string is compared with another string. If they are true, for instance, this string has red and it has blue, not color, value, actual string literal value is red, R-E-D, and here B-L-U-E. Okay, so here these are false, right? So red and blue do not have the same sequence of characters. So they are not true, that means false. Okay, but in C++ it gives a different result. So in C++, if it is true, okay, so it will give 0. It compares. Okay, then otherwise it will give less than or equal sign. Okay, so we will discuss this later, but for now, C++ people, everybody needs to understand. Please do a Google search this. Compare C++ compare method. Okay, it compares the string letter by letter, so character by character of first string with the second string. For instance, it will compare this R equal with B. So R is how R is compared with B. R has a ASCII value. Every character is, whenever we type in, is converted into binary number. That binary number is compared with, will be compared. So A, so 9, so okay, so looked at these, and then we also discuss logical operators. Okay, logical operators, there are 3 logic circuits: AND circuit, OR circuit, NOT circuit. In our last lecture I discussed by drawing some true actual logic circuit, right? Okay, recall those. And in order to be true of a logical AND operation, all input needs to be true. But in order to be true in logical OR operation, at least one needs to be true. So here we discussed that there is a condition will be over here. So this part we give a Boolean expression over here. No matter how large the Boolean expression is, your result will be either true or false. Okay, if it is true, then this part will be executed. If it is false, then nothing will happen. Okay, and in natural language we use then. Also in pseudocode we use then. Like, look at in pseudocode format. If we say if, all is in uppercase, and also it needs then, and also in end if. So if you miss some of these or one of these, you may lose some point in your test. So if you write pseudocode, be careful. You need to follow the format. Okay. So what is the Boolean of expression over here? The entire part, the right side is a Boolean expression here. Okay. A Boolean expression can be a combination of some logical and relational operator. So this part is relational, right? It will give us either true or false. That true or false will be compared with this true or false. Okay. And finally it will give you either true or false result. So this is the like a truth table, we say. Please give attention and try to understand this. Okay, for instance, in a test you might be given a like expression like this. Okay, and maybe you will be given some at one row, completed one row, or then you might be asked to complete the entire table. Okay, so we discussed the precedence of arithmetic comparison. Comparison means actually relational operators and logical operators. So precedence means which operation will be executed first. So the arithmetic operators have higher precedence than relational, comparison or logical operators in all 3 languages. Okay, so in your test, if you are given a statement like this, you will be asked to write the result of it. This is a a middle school math, right? Maybe elementary, not even a high school math. So you will be asked to do this calculation without using any calculator. So this type of calculation does not require to use a calculator. Okay, so practice this, some kind of this. Okay, you will not be allowed to use any calculator in the test. If you understand the precedence and associativity and how this operator works, then you should understand the result. You should be able to do this. Okay, and we discussed that the braces, it is used to make a block. Okay, in pseudocode we do not use braces, but in actual programming languages like in C++, Java, C#, we use braces. But some languages, there are some languages like Python, F#, those do not use any brace. They use indentation, a space in the beginning. Okay, this is the if statement flowchart we discussed, right? For instance, there will be a condition over here. The condition, when the condition is evaluated, it will give us either true or false result. Based on the true or false result, if it is true, then this block will be executed. If it is false, then this block will be skipped. That's it. Okay, and so the condition, it will, this is the format. Okay, so this is in pseudocode format. Be careful about the if and then and also end if. And if it actually is a single word. Okay, so when you do handwriting, try to practice not to give any space. But if you give one little bit space, then it is fine. But if you give like noticeable space, right, then this is mistake. Okay, so obviously there is a lot of spaces, right? So it is noticeable. But if you have like this, it is ignorable. But do not try to like this. Okay, and try to practice when you write to handwriting. Try to practice to do this. Okay, so in our last lecture, I asked you to practice this program. What is the problem? You would take a Celsius temperature and you would convert that in pseudocode format. Sorry, in Fahrenheit, right? And then if your Fahrenheit is greater or equal to 90 degrees, then you would give the heat warning print. Otherwise, nothing. Okay. So this is the program. That program's code over here, written in C++, Java, and all three languages. You need to just use the appropriate print statement, and you need to use appropriate read statement. In a previous lecture last week, I discussed how to take input using keyboard, right? In all three languages. That is meant by this read. Anyone has any questions so far? Is good? Yes. Yes. So people say PAMDAS, like what do you do by PAMDAS? The parentheses, exponents. Okay, people sometimes confuse that is whether multiplication will go fast or division go fast. Okay, so PAMDAS. So maybe I give you an example. So if you have multiplication and division like 24 divided by 4, okay, times 6. Your question is like this, right? Okay, which one we need to do? If division and multiplication come together in one, so then whichever come first, we do the same thing. Division and multiplication same precedence, but they have associativity from left to right. So whichever it comes first. Okay, so when you go home, use a calculator to do this, the result, what you'll see, check the result. Okay, Carson, can you please check that team? I see there are a lot of notifications. Maybe people are asking questions. Okay, is good, everybody is good. Okay, so anyone has any questions so far? It's good. Okay, a few more minutes. In 5 more minutes we will start our fight in the battlefield. Okay, real game. Okay, so this is in pseudocode, and then we discuss if, else if, and else, right? What does the else statement do? If the this condition is false, then it executes this statement. Okay, condition is given only one condition with if. Okay, the else block does not have any condition explicitly. It is the condition, it gets the condition from that if the condition is false, then it gets that. Okay, then we discuss, this is the else block. It executes either block 1 or block 2, not both. Okay, so then we discuss, okay, I asked you to practice this program also. This is the if, else, and if statement, right? Okay, if there are a sequence of state conditions, like condition 1, then after condition n, checking first condition, you get another condition, and you get another condition. Maybe these conditions are related or not. Okay, so sequential, one after another condition you are checking multiple. For instance, when going to a like program, in a secure program, you will be asked to security take multiple places, right? Multiple entrance, one after another, something like this. So if the condition here, condition 1 is true, then this block will be executed, and all other conditions will be skipped. They pass. Okay, if the condition here is false, then it will check for this condition. Okay, if the condition is true, then it will execute this second block, and it will not go to this. If all of the conditions are false, then it will execute the else block. Okay, and this is the flow chart of if else statement, and I asked you to practice this program. Let us go to the last one that we discussed, the switch statement, right? Switch statement is another version of if else if statement. If else if statement. Okay, so it works with a switch variable. We say index variable. We say this variable must be declared before it is used. Any variable needs to be declared before it is used, first time use. So here, based on the value of this variable, so if the value is exactly 1, and notice that here we need colons here after here. You want the colon sign, and if the value equal to 1, exactly 1, then this statement will be executed, block will be executed. If it is 2, exactly 2, then this statement will be executed, and if it is 3, then this will be executed. And if neither 1, 2, 3, if the value does not match with either any of this, then the default block will be executed. Default block is similar to the else block in if else. Okay, and here you have to notice that when you get switch, you have to notice that whether break exists or not. The break means, what do we mean by break when you drive a car? What happens? It stops, right? Okay, so the break means it will stop what? It will stop checking. Okay, so then whenever it gets a break, then after it's executing break, whenever it's a break, then it will go outside of the switch. Okay, there is an alternative, the reverse of another statement is called continue. Continue means keep going, right? So continue. So sometimes continue is obvious over here. So if there is no break, that means continue. Keep going, okay? So you will get some places continue. Okay, so this is straightforward. So but this is a little bit tricky to use switch in your test. If you get a break, like a switch statement like this, first of all you check few things. Check whether this variable is defined or declared or not. Okay, then check whether you have begin switch. See the where it is begin, it begins here, not before the switch. Okay, and see that k is 1, then a semicolon over here, and especially look at that break statement, whether it exists or not. In some languages like C++ and Java allow not to have a break, but some other languages like C# does not allow a missing break. So in C# you must use a break, okay, and default, otherwise it will show an error. I like everybody to practice this program in all three languages. Okay, and especially this pseudocode. In this pseudocode, whenever you give, if you get a pseudocode in your test, okay, give attention that. So you see that our condition variable is declared, right? Here's the condition here, right? Then it's good. So here case, then you have colon sign. In order to save our space, we put in all one line. If there is a space here, then fine. So 10, that means if the condition is equal to 10, then it will execute this statement. And break, notice for the break, missing or existing break. If a break is missing, then what we will do, it will still go there. It will still check there. Okay. Huh? No, you have to break. I'm asking to check whether you have break or not. Sometimes you may be asked a question, but with a missing break, what will be the result? For instance, I'm giving an example. Like for instance, okay. So while checking your here, okay, while checking your grade, okay. So we know that in order to get an A, you need to get 90% or greater than 90%, right? 90% or more for A, right? Okay, so if you get a 90%, that should be 95, that should be A, right? And A, right? But still there is also a B, right? In order to get a B, you need to get at least 80%. But 90%, 95% is still greater than 85%, right? You understand? So your grade, when you get an A, that means you already get a B also. And you already got a C also, right? But which one we consider? The top one, highest one, right? Highest letter grade. So that means, so here or other thing, here is temperature. If your temperature is 90, greater than 90, the still that is greater than 80, right? Isn't that? Still there is greater than 70, right? Then still there is greater than 40, 30, 20, 10, right? Okay. So but whenever we say that it works this way, so if it is greater than 90, then it will not go this. But this will be a good practice for you. So try to give this condition first, 70 first, then 80, then 90. What will happen? So for instance, if you do 70 over here, and if you give 80 over here, and if you give 90 over here, okay? Try this at home. See what will be your output. Okay? Okay, try to see that if there is a difference or not. Try to understand. If you don't understand, then I will discuss in the next lecture. Okay? The simple sense, okay? Go ahead. This is sense. Okay. So everybody please practice this program, okay? And that was what I discussed in our last lecture. Okay. Anyone has any questions so far? That was what we discussed in our last lecture. Okay. So I see that day by day less people are coming in class. I don't know how long we will continue face to face. I don't see if I will ask. If I see less than 20% people, maybe we will go completely online. Okay, I encourage everybody to come. First of all, come online. But let us see how many. You see that cursor? How many people are online? Do you see? Okay, 39, including me. 38, right? 38, and maybe how many of it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4. 24 over here. So 39 plus 24, 63, right? 39, 40, 63. Less than half. Okay. So this is a message for everybody. If you miss a lecture, so I will try my best to record my lecture and post it on my YouTube channel, but I cannot give you guarantee. Sometimes it happened that my lecture was not recorded. Okay, so if it is not recorded, then what you can do, you have another advantage that I teach another section in the morning. Okay, luckily that video will be recorded and will be posted, so you can watch that video from that section. Okay, and another thing that I am teaching 2 sections here, one in the morning and another in the afternoon, 1322. And did I tell you that we have more than 1100 students, about 1200 students taking 1321 course, this course. We are 5-6 professors are teaching. So even I am teaching 2 different sections. I try my best to teach same thing in the morning and afternoon. But as a human being, I cannot give a guarantee that I will tell you it is exactly same thing, right? The same way. And it is obvious that for other professors, we cannot give you guarantee that everything we will go exactly that we will teach exactly same thing. Okay, so there might be a variation, although we follow same PowerPoint slides, but every professor has his our own technique to follow. Okay, sometimes I give some live code, other professor may not give me that. Okay, so the good thing will be, in order to be prepared for this, you need to read the book and practice and do as much as you can, something better. Okay, now time to practice. Okay, now I will move around and I want to say that whatever program you are practicing so far, maybe I gave you 5 programs, about 15, right? About 15 homeworks I gave you, and then I asked you to practice those 15 programs in all 3 languages. That means 15 times 3 will be 45. About 45 programs, right? If you practice those 45 programs, then I believe it will be a good shape for you to start programming, right? Remember that at the beginning I told you that I would help you how to walk on the field of programming, right? And I think it is a good point for us that you should be able to start walking. Okay? So yeah, everybody please start. Yeah, open your program, and if you face any issue, if you have anything, then let me know. I will see. So where is the charging station for this?
It's supposed to be batteries.
Only battery? So
It's full though.
how do you know that?
See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but in other room, in other classrooms, I used to teach and there was a charging station over there.
Oh, okay.
So when I left, then I used to put on the charger. It used to charge. Sometime what happened, I came here and I found the charger is gone. Charger is gone. So I called today this morning to ICTER and asked to the charging station.
So what I do, I change out the batteries though.
Okay, that's good, but it is costly, right? Instead of
Yeah. We don't have a charger for that one.
yeah, but you can maybe test it.
Yeah.
You can do a decision on the charging station.
Yeah, I'll talk to my supervisor.
Yeah. You may go to other offices, other classrooms.
Yeah.
They have charging station.
Yeah. What building?
Each building has each 200.
Yeah.
Each 200 Q200 maybe.
So we have them for the handheld and also the lapels.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to my supervisor.
Yeah, there will be cost efficient, right? You don't need to change the color.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, not this, even whatever you did, show me your program. Whatever you practice at home, like that, show me your program. We don't have internet connection, we should have. I do have, I'm using Wi-Fi. Maybe problem in your laptop. Did you give your password? Yes, yes, put disconnect. Okay, then you need to go to ITS. You know what ITS? University IT Services. Building number 8. Next to our department. H is in Henry. H. Like an H. H is in Henry. H. No. Yes. H. H building number 8. The name is H, okay? The town is there. Or you can follow me after my lecture. I will show you, I will guide you. Yeah, that's good. You can use this. Yeah, whatever you did, okay, read, okay, read you forget, right? You can do Google search, for instance, which is like the Java. In Java, like read keyboard input. I can go Google search, Java keyboard input. Java input like that. Okay, go to the FYE website or FYE website, resource page, go to the resource page, go all the way down. Go all the way down. All the way down. Go. Yes. Go down, please. All the way down. Go down. Maybe the resource page. It should be in the resource page. Yeah, go down please. Go down. Go down. Three differences between language and Google Earth. Go down. variable. Whatever variable, sorry. Whatever you take the input, that is going to the variable. This variable is going to computer memory. You cannot see that. That is good. Celsius. So initially, please practice all of these programs in all three languages, okay? So do it first in your lab language, then it will take substantially less amount of time if you convert it to other languages. C# and Java are pretty similar, but C++ is a little bit different. Okay, so people, so this actually I asked you to practice, or even if you can do, let me see if I have another. Okay. So try this one, please. Okay, new program to practice. Let me explain you. Write a program in all three languages, C++, C# and Java, that takes a user input of an integer number and displays whether the number is an even number or an odd number. Okay? It should not be that much bad, right? There is only one condition, right? You have to take input, user input of an integer number, then you need to check with the if statement. How do we check whether a number is an even number or an odd number? Yeah, how do we check? Yes. Yeah, using modulus operator. And what is the algorithm? Yes. So if a number is, we say it's evenly divisible, right? That means if we divide a number by 2 and if we find the remainder is 0, then this is an even number, right? This is true for all numbers. And if we get remainder 1, then the number is an odd number, right? Okay. Is there any other condition? Then we have, if we divide a number by 2, what are the possible remainders? Okay, 0 and 1. Can we have anything else? No, except 0 and 1 we cannot have anything else, right? Okay, so that's very straightforward. Okay, please try it. Okay, if you need help, so just raise your hand. I'm here. Are you okay in the back? You okay? Huh? Are you good? Anyone has completed this one? You done? Anyone has done? Who else? User and input is whole number. One here, there is no space in between. No. Okay, so it's just equal. So not division, it's modulo. Modulus. Percentage sign. Percentage sign. 2 equal after 2. No, after 2. That is equal 1. Is 0. Practice programming, not only in studio. Practice actual programming. How's going your program? Okay. You okay? Okay, let me see your program. Okay. So, the remainder equal to even what? Sorry, even what? ये पूरी हो गया. Modulus 2, not this one. Modulus 2. Okay. Then line number 15 equal double equal. Okay. Then line number 17 this one color. Line number 13 will be semicolon. Okay, so if remainder, not here, if remainder, enter, then yes, the number is 1. You didn't start with the class. So this is our one. So it's the class. No, not the class. Closing. Now the closing. Press enter. Press enter. Yes. Press enter. Then okay, it should not be that much hard. I expected everybody should be able to do it. Okay, so we're done. So we have another problem to practice. You try this one. Okay, so what you will do in this program? So you will take an integer number. Okay, like year, maybe 2020 or 1945, 1940 or 1776, whatever the number. Okay, and then you will display whether your year is or was a leap year or not. Okay, the algorithm, what is our algorithm to check whether a number is a year is a leap year or not? Actually, a year is a number, right? So this, if the number in general, we know that everybody knows that if a year is divisible by 4, then there is a leap year, right? It's straight for basic formula. It's divisible by 4, then there is a leap year. Start with that, but actually in actual Gregorian calendar, so the formula is a little bit complicated. You can do a Google search about. So actually, if a number is maybe divisible by 4, but not divisible by 100, but also divisible by 400, or something is complicated. But start with the basic one, and you can do Google search for the complicated or complete formula. But start with the basic. Anyone has done? Oh, good. How about you? It's okay? Well done. Now what are you doing? Will you come? You got that. Who else has done? Okay. Good job. So your formula is basic formula. It is not complicated. Do Google search for that. The actual formula is if a ER is divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100. Okay. Or if it is divisible by 400 alone. If it is divisible by 400 then fine. Okay. But if it is not divisible by 400 then you have to check it is divisible by 4 but not 100. So the formula is a little bit complicated. Do actually Google search, you should get the formula. You figure the basic formula, right? So the complicated formula is shown. What is your name? Who wrote the formula? You? What is your name? Liam, can you please write down the formula on the board? Who is that? Give me a second. Anyone else? No, there's no one. Okay, thank you, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know formula. So the formula is what is it? Okay, the formula algorithm is a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 400, then it is obviously a leap year. Or if it is divisible by 4 but not by 100. Okay, this is the formula. So then you need to convert this formula to in a program statement. Okay, it's a homework for you. So do Google search. You should get it. Okay, anyone has any question? Okay, so at this point we are in good shape. You should please practice that. For so far I gave you maybe fixed about 20 programs, right? Practice all of this program in all 3 languages, then you will be in good start. Okay, yes. In test you will have option to write either pseudocode or any of the languages. Yeah. Okay, so people who are online, anyone has any question? People who are online, anyone has any question? Okay, thank you so much and you have a good evening.
Not quite understanding why my statement is wrong.
Yes. You need to put another parenthesis after you put another parenthesis.
After read, you said?
No, put another parenthesis here and close this with the parenthesis and close this until this another parenthesis. Keep another parenthesis over here
Okay.
and close this on here.
Okay. All right.
Before what?
Thank you.
They sent us the email about the hackathon, and they said some professors are offering extra.
Yeah, but our before you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. 9:30 to 10:45.
What section?
Section. Your section is 5, right? That is section 4.